All right, we're going to look at linear equations in 1-3. And so let's slope. Slope measures of a number of units. A non-vertical line rises and falls. And so, you guys don't have a graph there. Let's put a graph here. So we have x1, y1, y2's here, x2, this is your x-axis, this is your y. And if you remember, slope is rise over run. So if I start here, this is going to be the rise. This is going to be the run. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. So your slope can also be rise over run. And if you think about this line, is this slope positive or negative?
Positive.
It's positive because when I rise, I'm going down, so that's a negative. I run, I'm going to the left, that's a negative. And a negative divided by a negative gives us that positive slope. Questions on that? You're probably pretty good about slopes. A line that has a positive slope, we just talked about it. It rises. Negative slope, it falls. What type of line has a zero slope? Straight which way?
Straight on the origin.
First of all, let's talk about all lines are straight. Okay, and I love that. And it's a horizontal line. Horizontal lines have slopes that are zero. Because I start here, how far do I rise? None, but I run a certain amount of time. So 0 over something is 0. Whereas an undefined slope is a vertical line. I fall from here to here, I rise whatever, and then I'm running nothing. And you all know that some number divided by 0 is undefined. So horizontal lines have slopes that are 0. Horizontal has an HO in it. And so that's a slope of 0. Vertical does not contain an O, so it is undefined. Slopes can be interpreted as a ratio if x and y are the same unit of measure. When the slope is a ratio, it has no units. So hopefully there's a picture here. Find the slope of a ramp. The slope is rise over run. So I'm rising how much? And that would be a negative 6 feet. I'm running how much? Negative 21 feet. What's the feet cancel? Okay. And then these are both divisible by 3, so that gives us a slope of 2/7. No unit. Questions there?
Why'd you change the signs to
Because I start here, I'm falling,
negative?
it's a negative, and I'm running to the left, it's also. Slopes are rates or rates of change if the x and y have different units of measure. So for example, in 2000, the student body at BHS consisted of 180 students. In 2004, 220 students. What's the rate of change? That's going to be your y's, difference in your y's over difference in your x's. 180 minus 220, that's students. 2000 minus 2004, that's your year. So 180 minus 220 is what? Negative 40. 2000 minus 2004, negative 4, which gives us 10 students per year. Questions there? All right, the slope-intercept form of a line is y equals mx plus b. Where m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. This form is very useful for graphing of a linear equation. First thing we want to do with 2x plus 4y equals negative 4 is what? We want to get y by itself, so we'll subtract 2x. Then what? Divide by 4. Do you agree with me that the slope is negative 1/2 and the y-intercept is negative 1? And then how do I graph it? Start the y-intercept first, so on the y-axis, I have an intercept of negative 1. Then I have a slope of negative 1/2. Which one of those is negative? The top one, the way it's written. So that means I go down 1, bottom one's positive. Could I make the top one positive, the bottom one negative? Yeah, I could go up 1 over 2. They all fall in a line. The important thing here is when the slope is negative, only one of the numbers in the fraction, either the numerator or the denominator, is negative, not both. This slope falls from, or this line falls from left to right, so we know it has a negative slope. What about number 2? Divide by 2. So y equals -3. Y equals a number is what type of line? It's a horizontal line. So where is y -3? Right here. Horizontal line that goes to the y-axis. Questions there? What do I do? How do I graph the C? Do what? Add 5. What type of line is this? Vertical that goes through 5. The x equals 5. It's the x-axis. Questions there? Have you been introduced to point slope equation of a line?
Yeah.
I don't You what? You remember it? Point slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. It's often used when writing the equation of a line from its slope and a given point on the line. And let's just put that here. x1 comma y1. So write the equation of the given line, of the equation of the line given the following. I gave you a slope and I gave you a y-intercept. So we're going to use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. For those of you that are moving on and taking calculus, when I will be writing some equations of lines, this is the way we're going to put them. We're going to put them in this form and move on down the road. If you want to graph a line, y equals mx plus b, I guess this one is just as useful. You can pick out the point, pick out the slope. So m is 3. So where I see m, I put 3. Where I see x1, I put a -5. Where I see y1, I put a 1. And then bring everything else down. We're going to have y minus 1 equals 3 times x plus 5. There's the point slope. Questions there? What about B here? Slope is undefined. What type of line is that? This is a vertical. Vertical lines have equations that are what? X equals. What's our x equal here? -1. Easy, easy, easy. And then C, any questions on B or A? am I gonna have to do with C? Find the slope first. So y's -3 minus 6 over x's, which is 2 minus a -4. So -9 over 6, which gives us a -3/2. Now we're going to write the equation. We have a slope of -3/2. Pick one of the points. It doesn't matter which one you pick. So it's y minus a -3 equals -3/2 times x minus 2. There can't be two answers here. I picked the first point. What if someone picked the second point? Same thing. Y minus 6 equals the slope times x minus a -4. Either or works. How could you prove that these are the same equation? I put it in y equals mx plus b form. I'm not going to because that's 2/3. I don't want to deal with that fraction. But if you wanted to show they were the same, multiply it out, get y equals mx plus b, and I messed up. Where did I mess up?
3/2.
There should be 3/2 here. Questions there? Parallel and perpendicular lines. What do you know about parallel lines?
They never intersect.
They never intersect. What else? They are coplanar. What's coplanar mean? They're in the same plane. If they don't intersect, what else do you know about them? They have the same slope. What about perpendicular lines? What's that? They are lines, yes. Intersect at a 90-degree angle. What do you know about their slopes? They're what?
Opposite.
What else? Besides opposite. You gotta say what's opposite. They have slopes that are what? What part about coefficient?
way it's like.
what's that called? When you flip,
They're reciprocal.
they're reciprocals. So they have slopes that are negative reciprocals of each other. For example, if I take the negative 3/2 slope from up there, upside down T is the symbol for perpendicular. A line perpendicular to it has a slope that's what? This one's negative, this one's positive, and then you flip it. Questions there? Anyone not done? I'm going to flip it over. And example 5 says determine if the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So line 1 passes through -2, -1, and 1, 5. And line 2 passes through 5, -5, and 1, 3. So what do I need to do to figure out if they're parallel, perpendicular, or neither? I have to find the slopes. So the slope of line 1, you guys do that right now. Slope of line 2. You guys find that on your own. Why is the one top is? The slope of line 1, -1 minus 5, -2 minus 1, which is what, -6 over -3, which is 2.
Yep.
Line 2, -5 minus 3, and 5 minus 1, which is a -8 over 4, which gives us a slope of -2. So what's our answer? Are they reciprocals of each other? No. So they're not perpendicular. Are they the same? They're not the same, so it's neither. Questions there? All right, find the equation of a line. Yes, ma'am.
How did the 1 become a -1? Wait. Never mind. I wrote over it.
Find the equation of a line that's A, parallel, and B, perpendicular to this line, and passes through the point negative 3, 2. So what's the first thing we need to do? Get y by itself. So how am I going to do that?
Subtract 2x.
Subtract 2x. So y equals negative 2x plus 7. Parallel means what? Same slope. So m equals what? Negative 2. We can use that point slope. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. What's our y value of the point? 2. So y minus 2 equals negative 2 times x plus 3. It's minus a negative. This would be plus. It didn't tell us that it has to be in slope-intercept form. I'm leaving it. If I'm not specific or the directions aren't specific on what form, put it in the easiest form. Perpendicular. What's the slope of a line perpendicular to y equals negative 2x plus 7? 1/2. Change the sign. This is like being 2 over 1. So change the sign and flip it. So y minus 2 equals 1/2 times x plus 3. Questions there? Then at the bottom of your notes, I have all the forms of lines. We have standard form, we have general form, vertical line is x equals a, horizontal is y equals b, slope intercept, point slope. Questions there?